Hey YouTube, welcome back to Universe X, and yeah, for this video we are going to be going over episode 14 of Dragon Ball Daima, labeled Taboo. Now real quick before we get into it, I'm just gonna let you guys know that today Sparking Zero just released a trailer for the Dragon Ball Super Superhero DLC. It's somewhere up on the screen right now. I would implore you to go over there, give it a like, check it out, because I'm a super Beast Gohan fan. I love him, and it's coming out in this coming week, so I'm gonna have to start jamming out Sparking Zero content again. That being said, we are almost at 1,000 subscribers, so if you'd love to join the UniX fam today, now is the time. And with that out of the way, like the video and let's jump into it. So the episode starts off with them still on the ship. Pansy has made her repairs. You know, last episode they got away from the terrifying megalith child, and Glorio congratulates Pansy on her repair job, and Pansy is actually overjoyed. It's kind of cute. She's very excited that she was given that praise. And yeah, so Pansy phones Pearl, I believe, and tells him that they're on their way to the first demon realm, and Pearl tells her that her father, King Kandan, is going to steal a ship so he can be on his way as well. So we're kind of setting up for a confrontation where everybody is in Demon Realm 1. Yeah, it really does feel like we are getting closer and closer to the end of Daima somehow, because they're starting to put the pieces all together. And after that, Bulma, she actually offers Pansy ships in exchange for Magilite, because Bulma wants to be able to tinker with a substance she's never worked with before, and she recognized Pansy's problem with the fact that her dad is always having to steal ships because they don't have any of their own, because while he may be a king, they are not rich. So, yeah. Now it switches over to Goma and Dagesu, who are both just annoyed that things are happening the way they're happening, and they're starting to prepare for battle. They've got all the Gendarmerie forces all, like, you know, ready to go at any moment, and then they call in the Gendarmerie Special Forces, which is the total homage to the Ginyu Force, but I can't say it's not funny. So you basically have these guys get introduced and they're chowing down. They're eating all these snacks, and Goma and Dagesu pull up, and Goma's so mad. Like, it's one of those, like, what do I pay you for moments? And they were just like, yeah, oops. And so they get up and they start going off on their poses. They have very Ginyu Force like intro. They hit their poses. They have a group pose, and Goma's face is just like, bruh. And when they're done posing, Goma's face again is like all of us in real life. He's just like, man, this shit is so ass. And that is like when it goes. But then they're done with their intro and they just start shooting up the room. Like, they just start like, yeah, America, and just start like shooting up everything. And it's actually just pretty wild. So after they shoot up these things, you literally have them just being really flippant with the leader. Like, Goma's talking about how they need to stop the intruders, and Dagesu points out how the intruders beat Majin Buu, and they're beating Tamagami. And the Gendarmerie Special Forces don't even believe that at first. They're like, oh, they're joking. Yeah, just go home, sit back, take a bath, and play with your fart bubbles. I was like, what am I reading? But Dagesu's like, yo, you guys need to calm down because this is not a joke. They are really that strong. And Goma is like, if you guys just don't do this correctly, then you'll have to pay for everything you just shot up in this room. And the Gendarmerie Special Forces are like, oh, no. So, yeah, they are clearly far too weak to handle this squad, because the moment they heard beat Majin Buu as well as the Tamagamis, they were like, oh, they're just joking. That can't be true. So these guys are clearly just gag fodder, and it is what it is. Now, back to the game. They pull up on Warp Sama and find out that Warp Sama is sleeping, and so they have to find another way into the first demon realm. Goku looks at the barrier that was foreshadowed like way back when, and he goes, okay, and he tests it by extending his Niobo, or the power pole, down to the barrier, and it electrocutes him. There is a current, magical current, because some people are complaining that Goku is hurt by electricity. There is a magical current that goes all the way up to Goku's hands through his power pole, and it shocks him. He basically passes out and starts falling. Pansy is very, very afraid. She's like, oh no, because if Goku got like KO'd by holding the pole, there's no way to say this, holding the elbow and touching the barrier, if he get passed out from that, then he would definitely be like in some worse shape for wear if he fell onto the barrier directly. So as he's falling, just Neva steps forward, and once again Neva shows us why he is the Namekian. I'm sorry, Piccolo, but you have some leveling up to do before you hit the sorcery level of Neva. And Neva just looks up, and he like holds up his hand, and he starts getting the aura glow, and he puts out a spell. And now first off, he says it's time to air out the demon realm a little bit. And for some reason in my head, all I can hear is it's time to air out this bitch. Because like it really was just a moment where he decided to step out and be like, all right. And so he comes out, and he basically just holds out his hand, and the spell, if I say it correctly, it's Patarat Dorusi Pupilit Paro. And he keeps repeating it, and this orb shows up in his hand, and he drops the orb, and the orb ends up busting, like it seals, it unlocks the shield barrier, and that's crazy. So he unlocks the channels to every demon realm, and then you get a good revelation, because after seeing this, Glorio is like, now hold up, did you make these barriers? Like, Goku woke up while falling, he flies away, but yeah, Gloria's like, did you make these barriers? And Neva's like, yeah I did. And you find out that it wasn't to stop people from going between all three realms. It was a barrier that separated 2 from 1 and 3, because people kept coming into 2 and messing with it and like oppressing the Namekians. He mentions that the oppression from Realm 1 and the attacks from Realm 3 were one of the main reasons why the Nameks left Demon Realm to go find a new home in the first place. So that's a whole lot. And Piccolo acknowledges that no other Namekian could do what he does and calls him legendary, and Neva just laughs. Like, it's a nice wholehearted moment where Piccolo's like, game recognized game, and Neva's like, true little player, true. And so it just kind of goes over. But we're back to Goma and Dagesu now, and Dagesu senses something's different. He's like, did you feel that the wind's blowing? And Goma's like, bruh, don't even worry about it. I ain't worried, whatever. And so, yeah, it's kind of weird, you know, Goma's being a little flippy again. But now you have the Ganamari Special Forces going to the store, because earlier they were like, man, these chips were bomb. Where do you think they bought them? So now they're searching for the chips. And they load up their bags with so many snacks. And then they meet Majin, Do, and Ku, and it was very, very random. They're just in the store looking for chocolate, and they each have one piece of chocolate in their hand. And yeah, first the Gendamari are like patronizing them, despite Majin Do and Majin Ku being league stronger than the Gendamari Special Forces. But they're like, maybe once you eat big and strong, you can be like this. And when they see that they can only have one piece of chocolate each, they decide, you know what? Clear off the entire shelf, and let's buy chocolate for these kiddos, because they think Majin Do and Ku are just Majin children. And then they get to the register and find out that they don't have nearly enough money to buy all the chocolate. So they just buy the 2 chocolates that they are originally going to buy for themselves, because the Gendamari just spent so much money. The Special Forces spent so much money on their own snacks. And so they pass them and they're like, sorry, anyway, kids shouldn't be eating this much anyway, goodbye. And it's just a really, really funny gag that shows that the Gendamari Special Forces are actually good people who just love snacks. They really tried to like front out for some children, and then realized that they bought too many snacks of their own. So it was just funny. But Do and Ku are just fine. We actually get some speaking from Ku, like he says thank you, and I didn't expect him to be like, you know, on that level of sentience. And it was just all pretty cool in general. So yes, we now switch over to Arinsu, and Arinsu is like, she feels the change as well. She's like, something's amiss. And then it goes back to the gang, and the gang are venturing into the tunnel between realms, and they realize that their shield won't be able to take it. While talking to everybody, they pretty much realize that Bulma is the only one who can't fly, and so they'll just pretty much jump out of the ship once the ship can no longer take it and leave. Now, Hibis is just funny, because Hibis is talking about how he doesn't want to be hot, because I think Bulma asked what the temperature was going to be. Normal human questions. And Hibis is like, I don't know, but I don't like it to be hot. And when they all talk about people not being able to fly, Hibis is like, so I have to be hot and I have to carry Bulma? Once again, dude is trying to cuck Vegeta. I thought this was over after he saw Vegeta put the beating on the Tamagami, but no. Hibis is still trying to shoot his shot. And Bulma's like, no, Vegeta is going to fly me. And Vegeta's like, obviously. And so basically they assign Hibis to pick up a Dragon Ball, and then Glorio says he'll carry another Dragon Ball. And I think this is just like a little suspicious, because if they make it to Arinsu, Glorio's probably just going to take the ball and give it. So the gang will have 1 ball and Arinsu will have 2 balls. Despite being a lady. And yeah, so they jettison down, and basically you have one of the guards who's like, the Genda Marie on Demon Realm 1, who's like, wait a second. I can't tell from this distance, but it looks like there's no more barrier over there. This is bad. And yeah, it kind of is bad. It's kind of really bad. So, but then the other Genda Marie, he uses his binoculars and he spots the crew flying out of the portal, and he sends it back to Goma. Goma and Dagesu are like, oh hell no, and so he sicks all of the Genda Marie out on the gang. And so the very end of the episode are the whole gang flying away from shots, and you get a cool little spread of them flying away from the Genda Marie. So it seems like it's all kind of coming together for the final kind of arc of the Daima series so far. Okay, so overall, I think that this episode was a middle-of-the-road episode. It's a good setup episode. In terms of humor, there was a lot of good gags in it. The Genda Marie special forces were funny. Goma being silly was just interesting. Hibis once again trying to cuck Vegeta was funny as well. In terms of action, not really much going on, but seeing Neva come out and just break the barriers and just finding out that Nebula is this just undescribably powerful Namekian when it comes to his magic is just insane. Not too much revealed in the lore outside of Neva being really powerful and why he did what he did. But yeah, this episode is clearly a setup episode. What happened here is that Goma and Dagesu and the Genda Marie are on guard. Arinsu probably has to start making some moves here, and Glorio is going to be involved with them. And now everybody's in Demon Realm with King Candon on the way with probably some forces of his own. So we're setting up for everybody being in Demon Realm 1 for everything to pop off. I don't know what the Genda Marie special forces are going to do because it's not Wind. But we do have Du and Ku still having that, you know, we were reminded that they were still both in the picture on this episode. And I just think that like they're starting to cook. They're starting to cook it up. I don't know why the gang is running away. Maybe it's because Vegeta has Bulma, he doesn't want anything to happen to her. But like, they should be able to smoke the Genda Marie. Like, smoke them. Now I get it though, they're shooting like magic lightning bullet ray things, and so maybe those things could actually hurt the gang. Like, I don't think they were in danger of the gang getting like killed, but I do think they can get hurt, and if Bulma gets shot by one of those, she probably is dead. So yeah, they probably just want to make sure they can get to safety, or at least a place where they can put Bulma down and then just beat some ass. So I think that we are at a point where the next couple episodes should be gas on gas on gas on gas. It looks like the next episode we're gonna get like a Deborah flashback, the Genda Marie versus the gang, so they will turn around and deliver. So I think that we're cooking. We are building up to a good space, but this episode hopefully will be the last cooldown / nothing really added to the general world of Dragon Ball story in a while. But yeah, Neva is a beast. That's pretty much the summary of this episode. Is Neva is monstrous. And with that, I hope you guys enjoy. Check out the channel for more Dragon Ball and other anime and manga content. I'm streaming through the Kingdom Hearts series as a whole right now, doing full clears on their hardest difficulties. But I'm also going to be playing some Sparking Zero because Beast Gohan is coming soon, like next week soon. And then we have the 10th anniversary of Dokkan coming up. So all in all, there's gonna be a lot of Dragon Ball on this channel. I hope you guys enjoy. Love y'all. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe if you want to help me get to 1,000 and become a part of the UniX fam. Later.